boyfriend called me a gold digger. I've 32F been with my boyfriend 40M for about 7 years now. For the most part, everything is great. However, one thing that bothers me is that all the debt we have is in my name. The house and mortgage, for instance, are solely in my name and he transfers his half of the cost to me monthly. The car lease we have is solely in my name, but we put a significant amount up front and he paid a little more than half of it. I have credit cards we both use, but he has none. If he makes a large purchase on my credit card solely for himself, I ask him for the money, but that doesn't happen too often. With rare exceptions, credit cards get paid in full every month. So none of this harms me and I have no reason to believe that he will stop paying for his expenses, but it bothers me that I'm the one who is taking 100% of the risk, credit-wise. I've brought this up before. I wanted him to co-sign the mortgage and co-own the house, but he refused. I've asked him to sign up for a credit card, but he won't. Today, he asked for $100 because his account was low, which is something he does every few months and pays me back on payday. Tired of this, I asked him again to apply for a credit card so he can just have access to money without asking me. Now, it's not like he doesn't have the money or has a bad credit score. He makes more than twice as much as me, and the reason he occasionally comes up short in his checking account is solely because of extremely large automatic transfers he has to his savings account. So he has the money in his savings, readily available, but can't access it for 1 to 2 business days because that's how long the transfer takes. In my mind, a credit card would solve this problem. I reiterated again that I'm not okay with being the only person in the relationship with credit. I said that it's not fair of him to rely on me financially, especially since he makes more than twice as much as me and can simply apply for a credit card. He said that he doesn't believe in credit cards, so I feel really insulted that he thinks that he is personally above having one but thinks it's fine to occasionally charge mine. He said that he is tired of laying out cash for me all the time, when the only reason he gives me cash is for a half of our shared bills and b when he puts a large personal expense on my credit card. He snapped and said he was tired of all the financial stress I put him under. I asked him what he meant, and he brought up that while I was out of work for 2 months last year due to recovering from cancer surgery, he covered a slightly higher portion of our shared expenses. To the tune of about $1,100 minus $1,200 total over the course of 2 months. He makes 6 figures and gets 5-figure bonuses. Honestly, I don't even know what my question is. I'm really upset, feel like I'm being gaslighted, and am shocked that he is upset that he contributed slightly more to our shared bills while I was undergoing cancer treatment. Thoughts? Are you sure he's not married? Or maybe divorced and trying to hide assets? This not owning a house and no credit cards is weird. How do you rent a car when you travel for business? Something is seriously off. He's complaining about $1,200 when you had cancer surgery? What kind of bullshit is that? And that he's bringing it up is just childish and pathetic. He makes more money and yet he's the one who's short. So next time he wants $100 say no, accuse him of being the gold digger. He's the one that nitpicking over money. Is he trying to avoid being tracked? This sounds like some witness protections shit. He doesn't want his name on anything financial. That is a big red flag to me. Big red flag. Large saving transfer that can't be accessed for 1 to 2 days. This isn't the 90s and you are being naive. Him asking for $100 to cover himself while making 6 figures says there is something deeper here. Do you truly know where his money goes? All in all, you're being played and taking all the risk for someone willingly putting large ticket purchases on your CC. Advance your cards if you have to. Stop giving him money for extra help. Okay, really. He doesn't believe in credit cards. That is classic because clearly he relies on the credit extended to him by you. This is gaslighting 101. Since everything is in your name, perhaps you would like to sell it all. Granted, this is extreme. A more rational approach would be to understand your legal standing in this relationship, so quietly book some time with a lawyer to educate yourself. Do not put his name on the title of your house or on the mortgage. Do not put his name on your car lease. If he doesn't believe in credit cards, then he can stop using yours. If he needs to make a major purchase, he can break out his checkbook. When he does use your credit card, does he pay not only the principal he owes but the interest that gets charged for that balance? He is using you. He is affecting your credit, he is costing you money, and he is stressing you out over his irresponsibility. Get a financial planner, or get rid of him, or both. This dude sounds very ETA, and his words regarding having to be a supportive adult while you recovered from cancer, that alone would be a deal-breaker for me. Why did you allow everything to be set up like this? I have a coworker who married a guy. He got a truck, a Camaro SS, the most expensive Samsung phone at the time, got all his kids from a previous marriage brand new iPhones, got equipment for his business, maxed out several credit cards, all on her credit. She had to file for bankruptcy after he left her. After everything, he didn't have to pay anything for any of it. Don't let that happen to you. He sounds shady, man. I don't understand why he's trying to not have shit under his name and make his own credit account. Seuss. Red Flag City. Tell him you want to sell the house because it's only in your name and you're no longer comfortable with it. See how he reacts. The optics of this is pretty shady. He could leave you tomorrow and you would be responsible for everything according to the law. This is why you should never commingle finances with someone you are not married to. You have allowed this odd arrangement to go on for 7 years, so he has no reason to change. If I were you, my main concern would be to either to offload some of this debt or pay it off ASAP. You may also want to reevaluate how you guys came to this point where you have been left holding the financial bag. He doesn't believe in having a credit card. Okay, then he won't have a problem giving back your card and not using it again. The mortgage is in your name. I guess that means that any equity in the house is all yours as well as any profit from the sale of the house, since on paper the house is 100% yours. I guess that makes the car 100% yours as well. Oddly, I was thinking how fortunate you are to have everything in your name. He can't be borrowing against any of the assets since they're not his, and if you want to or need to end the relationship you have all the assets and established credit. Something is definitely off, especially when he needs $100 to carry him through when he makes 6 figures. This is crazy. This is also why you shouldn't buy a house with someone you aren't married to. I don't have any advice for you, except this is crazy. I guess the bright light is if you kick him out, you get to keep the house and the car. If he is regularly running out of money, he should transfer less into savings or spend less. None of this makes any sense at all though. If a friend told you this story and you heard it objectively, I suspect you would advise her to see the red flags for what they are. Either get him to give you the truth behind his actions or get out of the relationship. He sounds like he needs to grow up. If he's going to be throwing it in your face that he did something that every spouse should do, like somehow you owe him, he can shove that right back up his ass. You could always say, since you've used my credit for everything, then consider that time you paid more as credit interest. Since he doesn't believe in credit cards, next time he asks to use it just say, oh, but you don't believe in credit, I'm not going to tempt you to go against your principles. What a total ass. He's staying away from entangling himself with you financially, indicating an unwillingness to commit. With the HPUSE in your name, however, this seems quite shady. Assuming he is smart enough to make 6-figure salaries, he understands that this limits his right to it. Why would he be giving you the house he also pays for if he's not willing to commit, you think? I'd be questioning more of why he doesn't have his own CC by now. Like, does he have some hidden debt you don't know about? He can't be that against them if he's good with using yours. I'd be revoking his access to your CC numbers and telling him to get his own card. I would also stop floating him a $100 every time he's short. At that age, if he can't plan for when that big of a payment comes out, it isn't up to you to fix it. If he doesn't want to be on the mortgage, which by the red flags he's given you I don't think he should be, you need to basically have a rental agreement. But really, dude sounds like a giant red flag to me. It sounds like he's getting you used to shouldering his debt, so anytime he wants to bounce he can just walk away and leave it for you to repay alone. Do you have real evidence that he earns the income you suggest? You say he has no credit rating issues. How do you actually know this if he never applies for credit or never takes on financial obligations? This sounds like someone is spinning you a line. I'd sell my house and get rid of my car and go live somewhere else by myself. Get rid of him. Unbelievable. Also, best of luck with your cancer treatment. You are being used. Having credit and assets in your name only as a setup for him to bail out on you at whatever time. This is not normal and it sure as hell is not sane. Not in a relationship. As it was mentioned, it is possible his money could be kept in high-interest term savings accounts but then they wouldn't be available in 2 days. You lose a lot of you access them before term. This is someone who is hiding money and possible his identity. Is he leaving a lot? Traveling often? Also be careful about him emptying all your accounts. He can do that. Stop lending him money and your cards. Plain and simple. In this dude in hiding or some shit? Why is he so afraid of having his name anywhere in something financial? That's fishy as fuck. I don't wanna go to the extreme, but, is it possible he's got another woman and doesn't want her to find out about him with someone else? Since he doesn't believe in credit cards, take it away. You're not responsible for him. Sounds like he wants no paper trail. Are you sure he is who he says he is? Are there any unexplained events that have gone on? Have you seen him apply for anything ever? Is there any proof he lives with you? Does his license have your address on it? The one thing is, you might have more risk but you also get more out of it if he does leave at any point. Nothing is in his name. He is risking a lot and it's weird. Have you met his family? If he pulls in 6 figures and still needs you to spot him some cash each month or use your CC, then your boyfriend has some pretty bad spending habits. This coupled with an absolute refusal to apply for any sort of credit suggests he may have abused credit in the past and fears exposure, knows he'll be declined. Well, hopefully the equity in the house will pay off your credit cards. Go to the bank and draw on your equity to pay off and close all your credit cards and car. Then get yourself a Visa debit card, works the same but can't go into debt, can only use your own money just like a bank debit card. Don't give him access any longer to your funds. He has his own job. If he leaves you high and dry and the house is split, then you're not out of pocket that way. It's happening because you're allowing it to happen. It's awkward and confronting to insist that an ongoing procedure be changed, but you've got to do it. I'd be really curious what his credit report would show. Has he declared bankruptcy in the past? Is he hiding his real identity and using a deceased person's SSN? Sounds far-fetched, but who knows? 32F, 40M. For about 7 years now. 25F plus 33M. I'm already seeing trouble. You not knowing where the, more than twice the money, actually is means even more trouble. My guess he is doing this in case there is a breakup, he gets none of the debt and you will be stuck with it. Stop allowing him to use your credit card. Sorry, you can't use it. I wouldn't want to be called a gold digger when you give me the cash to pay me back. Do you need a credit card? Or did you get it because he made you? Are you sure that the money goes to his saving account? Sounds like child support. Okay, so what I'm hearing is all the big money stuff is in your name. And he gives you money for his half of it. But it's in your name. So if you broke up you could sell it and be financially okay. Hun, win-win. Just stop paying for everything on your credit card. Just say, sorry if you want that, you will need to find a way to pay for it. I haven't got any money. Why on earth would you put him on the mortgage? I doubt he makes anywhere near what you're thinking. He uses your credit card, but doesn't want to get his own credit card because he doesn't believe in credit cards? If he doesn't believe in them anyway, then why is he using yours? You really need to stand your ground and stop giving him your credit card. It's like you mentioned, easy for him to get his own. Heck, I can't even understand why someone wouldn't want their own credit card. Unless, indeed, he is hiding stuff like others mentioned. The benefits of having your own credit cards highly outweigh the cons. Simple answer is take his credit card off him and make him get his own. You are being gaslight. This is super shady. My mum was in the exact same situation where bailiffs and debt collectors went after her instead of him and he had all the money. When they split up 4 years ago, she's still being fucked over by all his debt to this day. I don't know what to suggest, but you need to get these debts paid off ASAP and most likely leave because he's making you the scapegoat. If he doesn't have credit cards, or anything else in his name, how does he have good credit? Wouldn't he want his name on the mortgage? What if you break up? The house is in your name, you could evict him and leave him with nothing. You're actually in a much better position than he is. I'm sorry you're going through this. I would look into gaslighting tactics and other signs of emotional, financial abuse in order to be aware of the signs. And he's still there? Show him you're not a gold digger by dumping him. He's projecting. Do not put his name on anything that has your name on it. It's time to stand up and just tell him no. Honey, the last thing you want is this shady character on the house title. 'Cause whatever he's doing, he will crash and burn. If he doesn't believe in credit cards, why is he okay with using yours? The fuck? You should remove him from your home and your life. He and his 6-figure salary will be more than okay. He transfers money to his savings and can't access for 2 business days? That would only apply to that deposit and not prior deposits. You need to protect yourself now. Be glad you did not put him on the mortgage. I less messy if you two split and the equity is all yours. A house is not a risk, it's an investment. If he leaves, you can always get a roommate. You need to cancel his credit card. He can get his own. Do a background check and credit report on him. Something very sketchy going on. Who the fuck is this guy? Everything about him screams bad news. I need to know more. It doesn't sound right. So couple of things, you didn't work due to cancer but now you're already back working. And all credit is in your name but he pays and hasn't missed anything. Female dating strategy. He sounds like a con man. Have you considered that he might be using a false identity with you? All of the things that he is refusing to do would require that he prove his identity with a SSN or government ID. You should watch Love Fraud on Stars. It's about a con man who did a lot of the things that you are saying your boyfriend does, and he did it to multiple women for years and years. Protect yourself and your assets. Cut off his access to your credit cards and bank accounts ASAP. You're focused on the wrong problem. He makes 6 figures, twice as much as you, and there are times he is stretched so thin that he does not have $100 to his name. What happens if he loses his job? What happens if he has an unexpected medical expense or car repair? This guy is not fiscally responsible.